Now, when I talk to people about not working on their weaknesses, again, it's a culture paradigm shift because we think, well, I've always got to work on my weaknesses. I got to work on my weaknesses. And I'm saying, no. In the area of skills, don't work on your weaknesses because, as I've said, you're weak in your weaknesses. People don't pay for average. You don't. I don't. You don't run down to the store and say, boy, if I could just get an average telephone. Man, this would be super. You don't go in a TV store and say, do you have an average TV? No. You don't go to the restaurant and say, oh, I can hardly wait to go to an average restaurant and get some average food. No, you don't do that. And when you go to the average restaurant and the hostess starts to take you to your seat, you don't say, excuse me, I don't want a great seat. Could I have an average seat? I don't want one like by the window or, overlooking the water. I'd just like to have, do you have a seat that nobody else wants? And before the host leaves you, you don't say, excuse me, just one more thing. Do you have here an average waiter? I don't want a real good one. Oh, no. I'd like to have one that comes slow, doesn't fill the glasses. I would like to have one that messes up the order, brings the wrong food. And when the average waiter comes to the average table at the average restaurant, you don't look at that person and say, oh, by the way, I don't want to know what's special here. What's average? Do you have any food that no one else has ordered today? And when you finish it with that experience at that average restaurant, at that average table, with an average waiter, and average food, you don't walk out of that restaurant and look at your friend and say, wow, I'm pumped. No. People don't pay for average. So let me ask you a question. Why do you love it so much? Why do you settle for it? You see, one of the secrets of success is for you or me to find out what we're good at and to have a passion to do it and stay in our strength zone and don't worry about your weaknesses. Your weaknesses are weak, and they always will be. Now, I'm talking about your skills. I'm not talking about other weaknesses. I'm not talking about, for example, if you're weak in attitude. I mean, if you have a bad attitude. You with me on this one, huh? I'm not saying, oh, if you got a bad attitude, don't worry about it. Just because you're disgusting and nobody likes you, it's okay. No. I'm talking about skills. I'm not talking about attitude. I'm not talking about discipline. I'm not talking about things that will make or break you in life. I'm talking about your skill set. Don't try to work on your weaknesses. It's just that simple. I was doing this lecture recently, and I had a person kind of raise their hand and kind of take me to task on it. Because they didn't like this, don't work on your weaknesses, and they said, well, now wait a minute, John, how about Tiger Woods? Tiger Woods is a golfer, and if he maybe plays a bad round, what does he do? He goes over to the driving range, and he maybe for the next hour or 2 hours, he works on his swing. And he said, there's a perfect example of Tiger Woods. He's working on his weakness. I said, no. Tiger Woods is working on his strength. He's a great golfer, unless you don't notice that. He's one of the greatest golfers in the world. And when he goes and works on his swing, you understand, he's already got a great swing. He's in his strength zone. He's just trying to take one of his little niches and weak areas in his strength zone. He's staying right in his strength zone. He's working on golf because he's a great golfer, just like I would work on communication because I'm a communicator. He's not working on his weak. He's not working on his weak. He's working on his strengths. Let me explain it this way. When Tiger Woods goes to the driving range and practices, it helps him because it's his strength. When I go to the practice range and I practice, it doesn't help me. See? Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. And if I practice in something I'm not good at, I don't get any better. I just get permanently bad. And so when you work on your weaknesses, when you work on your weaknesses, you're just going from very bad at best to bad. Hello? And people say, oh, I'm so glad they've been working on it. They're bad, but I'm really glad they're working on it. It's just, they're never going to get good. Successful people, they know their purpose in life. They have a passion for it, and they stay in their strength zone.